Alright, time for that FAQ video I promised, and boy did you guys put up a bunch of interesting questions. I'm not sure if I could get to all of them in one video, however I do hope to make this into a regular thing if you guys want it, so the questions I don't get to in this video will get a turn in the next one. Also feel free to send in more of course. I really like to interact more with you guys and I think this is a great start. And it gives you guys a chance to getting to know me a little bit better. For those who want that of course. I'd also like to quickly thank LukeMorse1, since in almost 2 weeks time I gained well over 50 subscribers and that's just crazy. Most of those came streaming in the day Luke mentioned me in one of his videos, so I'd really like to thank him. Also for those who have not checked out his channel, then please do, as Luke is a great guy and he makes new videos pretty much every day showing off his enormous collection. Luke, dude, you rock. Finally, for the contest, in which 3 names will be picked at random who will get to pick prizes, you can still enter if you haven't yet. Here's a list of names I got so far. If you are not on the list and like to enter, then please let me know. New subscribers are of course also welcome to join in. You have until Thursday, so make it quick. So now on to the Q&A, as that fits more as the FAQ term. Although I did have a few questions asked quite frequently over the time I've been making these videos, so let's go over those first. What emulator do you use? Well, none for capturing. I try to capture everything from the real console as much as possible. As for CDI emulation in general, don't even bother with the CDI emulator. It doesn't work very well yet, costs money, and the guy who made it hasn't updated it in about 4 years or so. There is another emulator out there called ICE, but that only plays Rise of the Robots. Go nuts. How do you capture your gaming footage? I use a TV tuner card in combination with my sound card to capture the video and audio of the consoles. The TV card is pretty old, about 10 years or something, and I had a really hard time getting it to work in the Vista. But with some custom drivers it seems to work just fine now. The only problem is that the tuner itself doesn't want to work, so it will be hard to capture consoles that only have an RF output. To actually capture the footage I use a program called Descaler, which is a freeware program. Apart from it giving great image quality without any lag, as far as I can tell at least, the biggest plus for me is the ability to capture footage in full screen, so I don't have to split the image to see what the hell I'm doing during capture. Where can I buy a CDI? Well, I guess eBay would be the best place around the world. For anyone who can read Dutch, marktplaats.nl is a goldmine for CDI stuff that's pretty much thrown away by people. I'm thinking of making a little buy guide sometimes to tell you what to look for when you want to buy a CDI system nowadays. In general, you can just assume that most systems you buy will have something wrong with them, and most of the stuff isn't as easy to detect. So even items sold as new might have issues that you'll need to fix yourself. Most are not too serious though and should not prevent you from playing the thing for a bit. How did you get introduced to the CDI? I think it must have been like 1992. The CDI just come out and my uncle got one right away. My father was pretty impressed by what it could do, being the techno geek that he is, thus he wanted one too. And to be honest, at the time it really did look quite impressive, there was nothing like it yet. So we did get one a couple of months later. Now the funny thing with that is that I actually played, if that's what you can call it, on it like twice before the TV died. At the time that was the only TV we had which had a SCART connector, and the CDI did not support RF. For that you needed to buy a separate modulator, which was crazy expensive at the time. So I went happily back to my NES, and it'd be more than a year before we got a new TV to play it on. And then it was back to my NES again. I did play it occasionally and we bought quite a few games out of the catalog, but it's the system with the least playtime put into it out of all the systems I've owned. Its video CDs playback was pretty cool though. Why are you called the half-blind gamer? You know, looking back I really regret picking this name. But I did and I'm stuck with it now. And it's a fair question, so let me explain a bit about what's up with my eyes. I was born blind with cataract, you know, that grey stuff that all folks get in their eyes. After around 6 months, they corrected that by taking out my lenses. The main problem with that is that you develop your vision in the first weeks mostly. So after 6 months, my brain never really figured out how to work those eye things. That's why you can see them going all over the place in live video too. That in turn is called nystagmus. They say my rest vision is around 5%, but I think expressing vision in percentage is bullshit. And to be honest, compared to a lot of other people with bad vision, I think I still see quite decently. As I said, I regret picking this name as I don't really want to put the focus on it. I hope to make videos that are seen for its content and not just for the oh my god that's so cool that he can do that. Now if I were to drive a car without killing a couple of people, then I can see how that'd be impressive maybe. But for gaming, video making and editing, my eyes don't hold me back at all. In fact, I don't let my eyes hold me back in general. And I can do pretty much everything everyone else can just fine. If I want to do something, I will find a way. So why did I pick it then in the end? Well, this is a nice moment to get to the next question from jprime777. Why did you start doing video game reviews in the first place? You know, I always wanted to do reviews and give my opinions. Me and my cousin even made a little magazine when we were kids, full of our crappy little drawings as screenshots for the game. Yeah, those look pretty awful. I never pursued any reviewing after that really. In 2006 I got a cornea transplant in my right eye and it got rejected by my body. Not too big of a problem at first, that's why you have two eyes after all. Just needed to wait for a new one. But after about a year it started to occasionally hurt pretty badly. Long story short, lost my job and had to wait a whole lot longer. During that time I was sitting at home and came up with the idea to finally do game reviews. As it wasn't painful every day and I always wanted to do it, and with plenty of time to waste now anyway, why not? Since video reviews were and still are pretty big, I decided to go for that format, and I love learning new things too, and I had never touched an editing program in my life. I figured I needed something new and saw that there was very little coverage on the CDI, meaning anything but YouTube poop. So I wanted to go with that first. I also thought it was a great opportunity to practice some English speech. So I started mainly for myself really. Because my eyes were more on my mind back then, that's why I picked that name at that time. Too late to change it now though. Oh, and after a wait of a total of 2.5 years, I did get a new cornea and it works fine so far. Yes! XXX Riddick asks, what's your dog's name? Well, his name's Chip or Chippy. And he's a golden retriever as you might have noticed. And no, he's no guide dog. He's more like a unguided projectile actually. He's crazy and always full of energy. And even now that he's 6, he barely slowing down. Oh, and the cat before you forget him is called Knabbel. He's more of the grumpy, gimme food or everything smaller than me or stupid enough to not fight back gets it kind. Although mostly he wouldn't hurt a fly. He's way too lazy for that. Ponange Dan asks, what two CDI games are you most likely to let's play next? Well, I don't know. To be honest, I don't think I'm that great with let's plays. I'm just a bit too slow with coming up with fun things to say. Not that I don't enjoy doing them, but I feel they take away from the rest of my channel. The scripted reviews seem so much more fun to watch. Maybe I should make another channel just for LPs, but I really don't know what to do yet. Or if I even should keep doing them. I did get requests for both the 7 Guest and Chaos Control, so if I continue then those will probably the first ones I do next. Don't Move Phoenix asks, what was your first video game console and how many, roughly, games consoles do you own? My first video game console, or at least the one I remember as being the first one, is the old Philips Video Puck, otherwise known in the world as the Odyssey 2. And I'd really love to make some videos about that one too. I played that thing quite a lot back in the day and I recently dug it out, so expect some videos of it soon. As for how many consoles and games I have, gee, I really don't know the exact numbers. I'm really kind of unorganized and never wrote down everything. Although I really don't have the biggest collection out there. I'd say around 16 different systems or something. And for games, well, I'm not even going to attempt to count those. They stack up so quickly, especially with multiple game cards or discs or even cassettes like the Commodore 64 games. Yeah, so just a lot. I really need to organize that stuff before I can really answer that. Well, I think we're starting to run low on time here, so I'll just save the others for next time. I'm sorry if your question wasn't on here yet. Maybe I can do these things like once a month or something. I really don't want to put them out much more than that, as I can understand that these can be a bit boring and are not for everyone. For those who did stay till the end, I hope you enjoyed it and thank you so much for watching. I mean listening. Everyone take care and until next time, bye!